5. You know, more often than not, garden products, along with pretty much everything else these days, is either encased in plastic or made of it, such as with garden products, it's the bagged soils, the mulch, the compost, the fertilizer, the treatment products, and don't get me started on all the plastic pots. So in today's video, I'm going to show you ways to reduce your use of garden plastic, as well as make the most out of what you already have. If you're like me, you make every effort to recycle whenever possible, and that's an important first step. But the recycling industry is moving away from accepting some of these common plastics anymore. And like all things, the market for recycled products rises and falls all the time. But when it falls, these common garden products are less attractive at the recycling center, and we run the risk of being rejected because it's just no longer a cost-effective process. So as you bring plastic products into your home and landscape, be a thoughtful consumer. For example, always look for the logo, which indicates a plastic package is recyclable. Become familiar with the meaning behind common recycling markers, like number references. When it comes to garden products, there are 4 types of plastic used most often. High-density polyethylene, usually marked with the recycling label 2. Low-density polyethylene, usually marked with the recycling label 4. Polypropylene, usually marked with the recycling indicator 5. And polystyrene. This is most commonly used for seedling trays and lightweight, rigid packaging. It's difficult to mark some of these products with a recycle indicator, but if you find a recycling indicator of 6, it's polystyrene. Not all plastics are marked with a number. Even when a package is marked, you might need to really look carefully to find it. At a minimum, a package should include the basic recycling logo. If it doesn't include that mark, it's probably not recyclable. Identifying the indicator number whenever possible is important because some recycling facilities require that you sort by number or won't accept certain plastics identified by number. And it's important that if we're going to take the time to recycle our plastic, that we take a little bit of extra time and sort them by the numbers, because once they're at the recycling facility, they manually have to be sorted by numbers, because you just can't take the different types of plastic and throw it into a big bin and expect that it all comes together for recycling. That process just doesn't work that way. You know by now, there are 3 R's when it comes to dealing with plastic recycling, and the first 2 are the most important: reduce and reuse. By reducing the amount of plastic that's coming into our homes and gardens, and then finding ways to reuse what's already there, well, ultimately, we reduce the amount that needs to be recycled, and therefore the amount of waste that doesn't have to be processed at all. The first step in reduction is to look for non-plastic options when you buy. In the garden, for example, consider buying soil, compost, and mulch in bulk rather than in bags. Those plastic bags add up quickly, and buying in bulk is often significantly less expensive overall. While bulk isn't always an option, it's always worth looking into first. Consider bare root plants over potted options when you're adding to your landscape. In many cases, healthy bare root trees and shrubs can catch up and outgrow a containerized specimen in just a few seasons. Some companies in the gardening industry are more environmentally sensitive to their impact of plastic, so they're finding better ways to package. There are now nursery pots made out of rice hulls, recycled paper, and even bamboo. Those materials are all organic and compostable. No sorting or landfill space necessary. When buying tools and other small products, opt for the options not encased in plastic. If there aren't any non-plastic options, look for the recycling information on the package. Many manufacturers opt to use only recycled plastic to produce their packaging. Milorganite is one example. It's been my fertilizer of choice for years here at the garden farm, and I love knowing that their bags are recyclable. And there's one more word that begins with R that is likely the most important, and that's refuse. When you refuse to bring items back to your home or your garden, whether they're new or recyclable, it'll make a huge difference. It's the same concept as taking your own shopping bags to the grocery store. But when you expand on that with your other purchases or acquisitions, you'll be amazed at the difference it and you can make.